Hi everyone, welcome back to another video from FPL International, FPL tips for fans around the world. Let me know where you're watching from. We love to promote the fact that this is a global game enjoyed by anyone, anywhere in the world. My name's Josh, I'm in Mauritius, and thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do so. We've got videos coming out on a weekly basis, sometimes even more regularly than that, and these videos are going to help you in FPL this season. So today's video is my updated Game Week 1 draft. The first draft I made was actually when not all the prices had been released. Some clubs had only released prices for about 4 players at the time, and other clubs had released prices for all players. But now, as we all know, all the prices are available, and I've been tinkering a bit with my team, and I think I've made some changes that have been good, and I'm going to share those with you. So in defence, I've stuck with the same goalkeepers. I've got Robert Sanchez of Brighton, and I've got Ben Foster from Watford. So ideally, if Matt Ryan from Brighton, who's also priced at 4.5, was out on loan again, like he was last season at Arsenal, then I would go for Brighton's other keeper, Steele, at 4 million. Because then if for some reason Robert Sanchez doesn't play, Steele is likely to deputise, and I'll always have a playing keeper. At the moment, we're not sure whether Ben Foster will play. He played the first half of last season, then he was injured, and when he came back, he was out of favour. So it looks like he's not going to be the first choice keeper, but I was looking for a 4 million keeper, and for me, I think he's the best option. There's a chance that he might play some games. But I've talked about Sanchez before, and I think he's a really good option for this season. His price has stayed the same despite a good showing last season. And Brighton were, I think, third lowest in the league for expected goals conceded, which was incredible considering the position they actually finished in the table. And yeah, Sanchez, I think he would have been up there among the highest scoring goalkeepers if he'd played all the games in the season. He did miss the first 9 or 10, I think. So yeah, it wasn't a bad record from him. The amount of points he got, compared to the number of games he played. I'll move on to my defence now, and I've actually changed my entire back 5. That's not because I was just looking for changes to make for no reason, but I actually got a bit of money from elsewhere in my team, which you'll see later, and I was able to spend a bit more on my defenders. So I've included Robertson, who's priced at 7 million. Trent Alexander-Arnold is another option if I'm going for that really expensive premium defender. But Robertson outscored Trent last season, and he does get assists. The only thing with Trent that I like is the fact that he takes free kicks and corners. So he's got that potential to create a bit more and maybe score goals from those direct free kicks. But Robertson, he's first choice left back. He actually had a decent season. Trent was a bit on and off, whereas Robertson was more consistent. And it's good to have consistent performers in FPL. And also, I like Liverpool's fixtures. That's why I've gone for a Liverpool defender. At the beginning of the season, their fixtures are good. And if Van Dijk and maybe Gomez are back in defence as well, they're really going to help to get clean sheets. And that's going to benefit the points that Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold will get. I was also able to upgrade to Chilwell. So Chelsea have a mixed set of fixtures, but they showed last season that even in these tough games, they know how to keep a clean sheet. So I like the look of Chilwell at 6 million. I think he could even outscore the likes of Trent and Robertson this season. Let's see if my prediction's right. It all depends on the clean sheets, I'd say, that Chelsea get. Chilwell actually had a really good attacking returns last season. 3 goals and 6 assists, which is a really good record for a defender. But then he was a bit out of favour. There was a lot of rotation going on with him and Alonso, and he sort of lost that momentum. So Chilwell at 6 million, I think he can provide good value. And I've been able to upgrade from a 5.5 defender to a 6 million defender, and Chilwell is my choice. So I'm doubling up in defence, including the goalkeeper, on Brighton. So I've got Sanchez in goal, but I'm also going for Lamptey. So he was a bit of a sensation at the beginning of last season before he got injured. And his points per game was up there with the best defenders in the league. So I like the look of Lamptey, especially at the price. 4.5 could represent really good value. Brighton, I talked about their clean sheet potential, and also the way that Lamptey can get down that right wing. He can create, he can score goals as well, like we saw last season. It's such a shame he got injured. A young player who was improving and looking to make a difference for Brighton. So yeah, I'm going to take a punt on Lamptey, and yeah, sometimes it's a bit dodgy when you've got a goalkeeper and a defender from a team who are not in the top half, and you don't know how they're going to do defensively. But I think Brighton will improve in terms of the goals they concede this season, and Lamptey's also got that attacking threat as well. So there's points potential at both ends of the pitch. Now, I was trying to steer clear of West Ham and Leicester players just because they're in the Europa League, and I had this feeling that when teams are in the Europa League, it affects their Premier League performance. But I actually looked at some data, and there's not much difference really. Sometimes I think it depends on the size of the squad. So teams like Manchester United, they actually have a good record in the Premier League after Europa League games. But I think that is to do with the depth of their squad, whereas Leicester and West Ham don't really have that. However, I'm going for Fofana from Leicester at that price, 4.5 million. I don't think he can be ignored. And I'm just hoping that Leicester's form after Europa League games will be good in the Premier League, and that they'll be keeping clean sheets. Fofana's not really such an attacking player. He doesn't get many attacking returns, but the clean sheets will be there. He's one that I'm not completely set on, but he looks like a bargain at the moment for a team like Leicester, who in the last couple of seasons have been unlucky not to finish in the top four. So, he's a starting centre-back at definitely, you could say, a top six club. And for 4.5 million, he's a bargain. So the final defender I've gone for is Brandon Williams, Manchester United's defender, 4 million. So that's the sort of player that you want in your team. Like I mentioned in my last video, though, it's important to have players who are going to start. So Brandon Williams won't start for Manchester United, not very often anyway, but it looks like he's going to go out on loan. So I've got him in my team at the moment, and if he goes to a Premier League club, he's definitely going to stay in my team, I think. Hoping that he's going to get a lot of minutes there. But at 4 million, if you've got a starting defender, it's perfect. It's someone who's going to get points. You can leave them on your bench, and if they do sub in, they're going to give you a couple of points at least. Brandon Williams at the moment makes it into my back five. Onto the midfield, I've got Mo Salah and Bruno Fernandes, my premium midfield picks. They were in my first draft, and they're sticking there. You just can't ignore the consistent performers that they are. And I mentioned as well in a previous video that it's good to have a couple of premium players. So you've always got one who you can captain. Obviously, when Liverpool play Manchester United, that's a tough decision, who's going to score more points. But most weeks, I'll have a decent fixture with these players, and it's a chance for me to have a good captain, and also throughout the season they're going to score well. They are quite consistent. Every now and then they go on a little drought, but these are players who scored well last season, and you almost know that they're going to score well again. I've still got Jack Grealish and Rafinha in my team. I like the fact that they're at different price points. That gives me flexibility. So if I do want to change anything in my team once the season begins, I've got players at different price points. If I want to bring in Sadio Mane, I can remove Salah or Fernandes. If I want to bring in Kai Havertz at Chelsea, I can get rid of Grealish. They're at the same price. And then there are so many players around the 6.5 million mark. Someone like Jack Harrison, I could bring him in and remove Rafinha easily. But one midfielder I have changed is I've got rid of Bissouma from Brighton. He is still a good option for me, but I'm looking at Billy Gilmour. So he's 4.5 million, the Chelsea midfielder, but it looks like he's going on loan to Norwich. So, that just shows me that he's probably going to play if he's going to another Premier League club. And I think he could outscore Bissouma in terms of FPL points. The other reason I've taken out Bissouma is because I've already got 2 Brighton players and I haven't got any Norwich players. So bringing in Gilmour, if he does go to Norwich, will allow me to bring in another Brighton player somewhere else in the team if they're doing well or if I see the need. So it just gives me a bit more flexibility as well. Okay, I mentioned earlier that I'd saved a bit of money elsewhere in the squad. That's what allowed me to upgrade to Chilwell and Robertson in my defence. So the money that I've saved is from removing Calvert-Lewin from my attack and getting in Ivan Toney. So it could be seen as a risky move. Everton have good fixtures. Calvert-Lewin, we saw how explosive he was at the beginning of last season. But I just think Ivan Toney can't be ignored. And he's in a lot of teams, and there's a reason for that. He's scored a lot of goals, and he also got assists last season for Brentford. They're quite an attacking team, and I think Toney will adapt quite well to the Premier League. He's strong, he's quick, he's got a good shot on him, and he's on penalties as well. That's something that Calvert-Lewin doesn't offer. Sigurdsson usually takes the penalties for Everton. So, yeah, I'm taking a punt on Toney. If he scores the same amount of points as Calvert-Lewin, I'll be very happy because I've saved money and I've upgraded in defence. So that would be seen as a good move. And I've still got Watkins and Bamford as my other strikers, two players who were, I think, in the top four for scoring FPL points among forwards last season. And I think they represent really good value. They're going to play every week. These are teams that you'd expect would improve this season, Aston Villa and Leeds. And yeah, I just like the look of those prices. The only thing with my forwards is they're all in a similar price bracket, 6.5, 7.5 and 8 million. So if I want to bring in the likes of Harry Kane, I'll probably have to make two transfers. I'll take someone like Mo Salah out, get a cheaper midfielder, and then take out one of my forwards to be able to accommodate Kane, who's at 12.5 million. Okay, that's my updated squad. I'm sure it's going to change. We've got plenty more weeks until the start of the season, game week 1. So, I'm going to be looking out for new signings, although I'm not too tempted by getting in new signings to the Premier League very often, but especially loan signings and, players switching from one Premier League team to another. There are exceptions. Someone like Jadon Sancho, if he comes to Manchester United, you'd expect him to adapt well. He knows about the English game from being at Man City in the past. And yeah, I think he would adapt well. Just not sure about the minutes that he's going to get with some of those other forward players at Manchester United. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you think I need to make changes here. Let me know if you like my squad. And let me know what your squad is as well in the comments. And I'll give you some feedback and hopefully help you to come up with a balanced squad of players who are going to score well this season. Okay, I'll see you again soon. But for now, stay safe.